We've no idea what we're going to say next. We couldn't script this. We couldn't. We just make it up as we go along. Good day to you all. I'm never sure whether to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever. Such is the joy of podcasting. But it's the day after the bank holiday, and it's first thing in the morning, so I can't speak for Chris, but I'm still not quite with it, I'll be honest, Chris. What about you?
All right. I'm sorry to hear that. You've been a bit under the weather?
I've had this cold that's floored me the weekend. No, I meant more I'm up. I'm awake. I only had one coffee. I've got to be interesting on radio.
I've already done a Zoom and nearly said it's a Monday morning and then realised, it's not Monday morning, it's Tuesday morning because Monday morning was bank holiday.
I've only just got over the clocks changing. It's ridiculous. I'm older than you. Maybe it's just as you get older. Once you get into your 50s, you don't like change.
I better warn you then, there's another one at the end of May.
Oh, for God's sake. I'm gonna work it just to prove a point. So did you get up to anything exciting over the long weekend?
Not particularly. Just spending a bit of time with my children and enjoying a bit of the weather and not to this isn't a football podcast, but my team had a very good result.
They did have a very good result.
So,
yes.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Without this turning into a football podcast, do you think Mr. Carrick may have secured his future for next year?
I think so. I think fundamentally we just need to win games, and that's what he's doing at the moment. So it's a strong argument against him to not give him the job. So time will tell.
There's a strong argument against him not to get. Okay, yes, got you now. Yeah.
I'm sitting on the fence. There's splinters in my bum cheeks. But how about you? How was your weekend, Ross?
Packed. I mean, Saturday we went to meet my girlfriend's couple of members of family for lunch down sort of south of Sheffield. It's about an hour away. That was really nice. People I've not met before, gone really well with them. And just as we got back home, went, collapse. About 4:30. We got a text from friends going, hiya, we've hired a pizza oven for the weekend. Do you fancy coming down? We've bought all the ingredients. We're making fresh pizza dough, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wow. And Paul's bought a keg of beer. We hadn't realised there's 72 pints in that, and it'll go off in 3 days. All right, we'll come down and have
you better add then.
Beer then. All right.
Wonderful.
Spent most of Sunday going, I'm full of food and beer. And then yesterday went across to see my mum for lunch, which is always nice. You got to do your bit, haven't you? See your mum.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, sounds like a perfect weekend.
Should we try something professional now? Have you got a tip, Christopher?
Shall we? I was thinking from a tip perspective, something that I often think about in terms of the amount of networking that I do. I don't know if I've ever mentioned the visibility often creates opportunities. Ross.
You say that bloody often. My girlfriend's quoting it now.
I should have brought the mug up from the kitchen, but it's just very important when you go into networking events that you want to get something from it. So there's a sort of term of turning every conversation into a next step before it ends.
Yeah.
So it's all well and good. Getting to know someone and building a relationship and building rapport and building trust, but try and not just leave it as we should keep in touch, or let's connect on LinkedIn, or I might see you at something else at some point sometime soon. Try and be a bit more specific. Should we get that coffee? Are you free on Friday? Are you going to that event? Should I put something in the post to you? Whatever it is, something a bit more specific than we should get together sometime, or we should do something. Just having that specificity. Easy for you to say.
I didn't say a word. I was just smiling at you, going, "He's not going to be able to." I could tell one syllable into it when it was off that.
Being specific.
Yes.
Specifically specific. And,
I hate it when people go, I'm being very Pacific about this.
Yeah, I used to know
being Atlantic about it then.
Yeah, I knew someone who used to do that. Just being specific when you're going to networking events and making sure that you get something out of it, I suppose, is the long and short of it. How about you, Ross? Have you got a
synchronicity,
tip?
Christopher. As I was doing my ablutions this morning and making myself look gorgeous for you, I was thinking, God, I'm going to need a tip. And it went to call to action. So similar kind of thing. Number of times you receive an email, there's a piece of marketing, a leaflet, advert, whatever it may be, and it's just, we're great, buy stuff from us. But no kind of, call to action, no, buy stuff from us now. Ring this number now. Call us today. Anything like that. So it's similar as you're saying. Don't leave it open ended. I mean, I'm a beggar for doing that with my own stuff because it almost feels a bit too insistent. And my British Reserve kicks in. If they want to call me, they know where I am. Sometimes people just want that little push, just that little nudge. Just a call to action. It doesn't hurt if you're selling to people. Even at a networking event where it's a bit more of a soft sell, because you're not selling, you're getting to know people, you're creating conversations. But if you want to have a continual conversation, it's like the end of a first date. You don't let it drift off. You kind of go, so can I see you again? It's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
So, with a piece of marketing literature, same thing, a call to action.
Yes.
What's the next step? And it might be, like when you're building a website, I always say to customers when I'm designing a website for them, what do you want from this? We want more business. No, from the website. Is it to make a phone call? Is it to email you? Is it to order a catalogue? And everything directed towards that. And then they forget that bit at the end. So, yeah. Yes, again, Christopher, we're on the same page. It's very serendipitous.
It is. It's making it easy for people to buy from you, I suppose, isn't it, fundamentally?
Yeah, basically.
So what steps can you do to make people find it easy to buy from you?
Shall we see if our guest has any opinions on this topic or any others?
Shall we?
I couldn't find another way of segueing that into the introduction. So I know that was a bit of a crowbar job, that wasn't it? Madam Guest, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. Thanks for having me. So my name is Victoria Kilter, and I am all the way from currently shiny and sunny Cape Town. And I have done a lot of things. Right now, I work for myself, freelance. I have my own company that I sort of freelance under. Essentially, I make content for businesses for their social media, but I'd say my main gig is video editing. But I also have other side hustles on the side, so I'm constantly busy.
A lady with fingers in many pies. Does that translate into South African? When we say we have fingers in pies over here, it could sound rude out of context, I imagine. Like you're stealing pies off poor people.
I think they've got pies in South Africa, don't they?
I wouldn't say they haven't got pies, Chris, but they might have that idiom.
Having a British mother, I hear all of the sayings. So I know the British ones and the South African ones. So
where's your mum from originally? You have told me this in the past.
She was born and bred in Dorset. She grew up there, and she moved out to South Africa when she was, I want to say, like 19 or 20, and pretty much lived here ever since. Met my dad, and she only moved back to the UK. This would have been 2018. So she's back there now.
Round Dorset way. Oh, she's gone somewhere else.
Down in Dorset. Yeah, she lives in Sherburn at the moment.
Oh, very nice. Very nice in Sherburn, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were joking about this before we started recording, that I've had a quick look at your LinkedIn profile, just to bring me up to speed, because I know a bit about what you do now, but obviously not your history. And there's a variety there, isn't there, Victoria? You've done some interesting things.
You've been busy.
Yeah, you've kept yourself busy, love. So, but let's go back to content creation now.
Yeah.
What's brought you here? What you've obviously, looking back, you've got a lot of video roles in the past, and you worked production assistants, various places, etc. What got you into that in the first place? What was it at school or university or whatever that made you think this is the job for me?
I wouldn't say it was, me sitting at school thinking this is what I want to do at all. I had a very different vision for my life, but just kind of segued into that. You get to a certain age where you suddenly have to pay for yourself and make some money, and you figure out how to do that very quickly. So I think the one thing I knew is I always wanted to, in some capacity, work for myself and have some autonomy. I've tried corporate, I've tried working for people. And I think in part, a lot of that's just been bad fits and misalignments, but it just hasn't worked for me. I don't fit well with the 9 to 5, sit behind a desk, do the job, go home, eat. It's just never been the kind of lifestyle I envisioned for myself. So when
Is it
lockdown
the
hit,
structure? Is it the being told what to do? What is it? Because, I'm very honest, I don't like being told what to do.
yeah, I think it's a bit of both. It's not that I don't mind being told what to do. I just think when management is misdirected or misguided, it can become sort of quite toxic in the workplace. And I've had quite a few of those experiences where, so I'm sort of segueing now from what your question was. But I've just had the experience, being a young person, going into business, going into corporate or job roles that I don't know very well, or I'm not necessarily super experienced in, but in your early 20s you're learning. You should still be learning the processes. And I think, I don't know if it's more of a South African thing. I think probably in the UK and the US these things are a bit more regulated and structured. Here, not so much. And I've just had experiences where it's kind of like you get into a role and it's just expected that you know what to do. No one's really training you. No one's prepared to sit down with you and say, okay, right, this is the day to day. This is what your expectations are. These are your KPIs, whatever. But I've just had so many experiences where that was not the case. It was kind of like, sit down, here's your desk, work. And you're sitting there thinking, I don't actually know what I'm supposed to be doing. But then when I try to take the initiative and ask questions, it's kind of like you get, we're busy. I don't have time to help you right now. And then
There's companies in the UK like that, Victoria, don't
Yeah,
we? It's
sure.
all around the world.
Yeah, which surprises me. So anyway, that being said, I think partially it's bad management, when which I think a lot of people would understand, but definitely the structure. I really enjoy having my work day to myself, and I find that I work a lot better in my own hours. I'm much more output driven than I am working, get X amount done between 8 and 5. I'm a lot better. I can get X amount done in 2 hours. I don't need 8 hours to do it. So yeah, I just think that's how I work better. So anyway, going back to your question, that's why I think what I knew is I always wanted in some way work for myself, have autonomy, whether that's working remotely, but yeah, having more of a results driven job than that structure. So I studied film and media here in Cape Town at University of Cape Town. I got into the video production stream, which is quite a difficult stream to get into. They choose 24 participants or 24 students, and it's, you have to do all these different things and kind of jump through hoops to get in. And I kind of thought, okay, great, I'm going to study film and go into some kind of environmental wildlife conservation, filming, National Geographic. That's sort of where my mind was. And so whilst I was studying, I also simultaneously took environmental science as well as a subject. So BAs and sciences, which obviously conflicted. So I was kind of a bit of a guinea pig for that, because I was running between lectures, having to skip some to make others, because I just really wanted to somehow amalgamate these two subjects, which I did. And then I went on to study honors in environmental science. And honestly, I didn't really know where that was going to go. I just kind of ran with it. But I've always had a firm interest in all things nature, environment, conservation, wildlife. That's always stuck. So I took whatever jobs really came to me at that time, as you do when you're a new student and you've just graduated with zero experience.
And you want money.
And you want money, Yes. So you take whatever comes along. So when I graduated, that's when I moved to the UK, to Manchester, and I was with a partner at the time, and he was studying there. So I was like, okay, well, here's an opportunity. So I went to live there, started working for the Gourmet Society, as you saw on my CV. So that was my first official job outside of university. And as things progressed from there, I came back to South Africa and just found myself in production roles. So more in the coordination, management, operations side of things, secretarial. And as things progressed from there, I realized the production side of things wasn't really for me, because that meant being on set. That meant sometimes dealing with very difficult people. Production and the film industry is not an easy industry to be in. You have to have a very hard personality and you have to be a very strong person, and it can be quite raucous. And
you're too nice. Is that what you're saying? You're too sweet.
I think I am, actually, and I used to be ashamed of that, and I used to think that was a bad thing.
Oh.
And now I'm realizing
Embrace it, my friend. It's who you are.
it's who I am, and I've learned to be more proud of that, because I'm just not a hard ass. I'm never going to be like a devil wears Prada kind of, boss type person. That's just not who I am. So it didn't really suit my personality, and I just, again, it had that structure and that routine, having to be on set early hours of the morning, 12, 18-hour shifts. I just thought that, for the amount of money I'm earning, this really isn't worth it. So eventually,
why do people stay? Is it because they are convinced that they're one step away from becoming director of photography or director or producer or something like that? It's the jam tomorrow.
I think when you're really passionate about film and that's where you're going, for sure, I think you have to go through it then I think you have to, stick with it, because there really isn't another way around it. You have to prove yourself in that industry, especially in Cape Town. So yeah, I think that's partially the reason. I think another reason is, and I'm talking more in the advertising film space, not so much the documentary space from my experience. It is hardcore. It's drugs, alcohol, parties, and if you get involved in that kind of lifestyle, I think for a lot of people it's hard to get out. And that just never aligned with me. That's just never been something, I saw that and I'd run the opposite direction. It just never ever drew me in, thank goodness. So I think, various reasons, but I also wasn't determined enough or passionate enough about it that I thought this is worth sticking out, because I knew it wasn't really for me.
Was it almost the film was the way for you to get into environmentalism?
Advertising, and I was doing a lot of production work for the advertising film space rather than documentaries, and that's not really it's just not me, and I had to sort of realize that quite early. So yeah, then I took a job I traveled. I went to Joburg and I worked on the Oscar Pistorius trial whilst that whole thing was happening.
Wow.
With Carte Blanche. So that was really interesting. I really enjoyed that, but of course that was sort of quite an intermittent role because of the nature of the trial and court cases and things. So there'll be long breaks and we'll be back, and then there'll be long breaks. So it was quite what's the word? Dysregulated, if I can call it that. I was in Joburg for that at the time, and then worked for various companies after that in Joburg. And I think I was just really biting at the bit to travel. I was young, and I just thought, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to get overseas. I'm never going to see the world. And I that's something I've always been passionate about, is seeing the world, learning about cultures, traveling, seeing as much as I can whilst I can. So reluctantly, I applied to be cabin crew. Never ever saw myself doing that. So yeah, somehow I got in and I got accepted into.
Not just any cabin crew, Emirates, who are known for having very high standards, madam. Because I fly them all the time.
Yeah.
I've never flown Emirates, but no, I do know that they do have a very good reputation. So yeah, you did well there. For somebody who wasn't that bothered.
Well, I think that's the irony, right? I remember going to the first day of sort of auditions or interviews, and it is huge. I mean, there must have been probably about 200 girls there, and girls that had been to the same interview, I don't know, 10, 11 times, desperate to get in, desperate to be cabin crew. And life's funny like that sometimes, because I was kind of there very reluctantly, thinking, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if this is what I really want to do, but it's a gateway. It's an opportunity. Why not give it a try? And
it's probably what got you the job, though, because you weren't desperate.
Yeah, I wasn't. I kind of was hoping I wouldn't get the call. I was really scared about moving to Dubai.
You want to offer me the job? Oh, no.
You want to give me money?
Yeah. They call it the golden call. And I really didn't put a heck of a lot of effort, and because you have to dress the part, you have to go with your hair tied up. And I'm by no means a girly girl in that sense. I grew up riding horses on a farm. I'm not a girly girl. So it's just ironic that I made it through. But I'm glad I did it. And, the great thing is it's a great way to travel. They pay for everything from the get-go. You don't need to have any cash, any capital. They basically, you get the call and they're like, cool, this is the date you're coming to Dubai. Here's your ticket, pack a bag. Here's your apartment. Here's your key. Here's a cell phone for you. Here's a bank account. They provide everything up front. So it's a really easy way. If you want to see the world and you don't have a lot of money to do it, highly recommend.
I'm no offense. I think Chris and I might be a bit old now.
I don't know. I'm on the jobs page now, having a look if there are any vacancies.
Yeah,
I mean, if I think they do need more male cabin crew, so there you go. But yeah, so I did that for about 2 years. Saw a lot of the world. It was great, very tiring. And after that, I always knew I wanted to try the boats. I knew that would be my final, stop on my travels.
Yeah.
And but for yachts, obviously, you have to have the capital behind you to do the courses and to get there and whatnot. They don't pay for anything. So I needed to do Emirates first in order to do that. So did that all the training, got my courses, and did the boats for about a year. So yeah, that brings you up to speed.
Did the boats. She worked for luxury super yachts. I did the boats. It's a very casual way of putting it. I did the boats. It makes it sound like you're getting up at 3 a.m. to, with massive fishing nets to catch the cod. I did the boats. They're new waders.
I probably would have enjoyed that more, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
No, well, yeah, the super yachts, the luxury yachts. I mean, they're not all super yachts, but yeah, that was also a very interesting experience. But as I say, my whole motivation, but doing all of this was to travel. That was it. To see the world, to earn money, sure, but to travel mostly, and I did that.
Get the experiences that make you a rounder person when you decide to settle down.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is that also comes with its own sacrifices.
Yeah.
Because most of my friends stayed behind, built their careers, stayed in jobs, both went up the corporate ladder, and I was halfway around the world in my mid-20s gallivanting. So,
but the thing is that they were probably jealous of you, and now you're jealous of them. You're always jealous of what the other person's got, aren't you?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. That's interesting that you say that you might perceive that they've climbed or done better or in a more positive way. That actually, they're, like Ross says, they're probably thinking, God, I wish I'd have travelled.
Yeah,
I'm stuck here with this idiot husband and 2 stupid bloody kids. Look at her flying around the world in Emirates.
Yeah. Where was your favourite place that you travelled to? Where's the sort of the place that's kind of stuck with you?
I always find this a really hard question because
she's not going to say Manchester, Chris. Just so you.
She might do. She said Stockport. She was on about Stockport before.
Unfortunately, not Manchester. I mean, I lived there, so I really got to see it properly. Although I say that Lake District is probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to and seen. I did really enjoy that. Gosh, I would say there's a few. Sri Lanka. I went to Sri Lanka when it was before it kind of got very touristy. So it was still very, I don't know what it's like now, but this was 2015. It didn't seem to be sort of on the map as much as it is now. But it was beautiful. It really was such a phenomenal experience, and just so much freedom traveling there. I felt incredibly safe traveling, as a woman, and just very friendly people, so accommodating, and just absolutely beautiful. So probably one of my favorite travel experiences to date. Another place when I was on the boats, I went to a place called St. Lucia, I think it was.
Oh yeah,
giving you the wrong
in the Caribbean.
Yes, and we went on this hike up what they call the pitongs, which are these dome-shaped mountain type things, and that was also just out of this world. It's it's the kind of thing that on a normal holiday traveling from Cape Town I would never get to see, because only boats could really get there to this island. So stuff like that, these Wonderful. Memories you can't take away anything else.
I mean, I'm jealous of that. How about you, Chris?
Oh yeah, I mean, you kind of playing it down a little bit, but I'm sure when I said it stuck with you, it's those experiences that have kind of shaped you into who you are, and to be able to create those memories, that's wonderful. So so how would you say traveling to Sri Lanka and St. Lucia and having all these experiences on the planes and the boats, how's that sort of led you to where you are now? What sort of experiences would you say has kind of enabled you?
I think it's definitely helped in the sense that I don't have the regrets of not doing it. So I'm not.
Good.
I think I'm the kind of person, if I hadn't done it then, I would be trying to build a career for myself now and have really itchy feet. And I just want to go now.
Right.
Whereas at my age now, it's kind of the age where I should be really settling down and thinking about, other things. But yeah, I'm glad I did it when I did, because I was, I didn't have too many responsibilities. I didn't have houses to think about. I didn't have kids to think about. I could just go, and do what I wanted when I wanted to do it. So I don't regret that for a second. And I feel like now I'm in a space where I'm quite happy to travel, have a place here in Cape Town, and just travel and go on holidays and, sort of have a bit more of a structured approach to it.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm inside, I'm sobbing because I never did it. And I do say to my kids, because between my girlfriend and I, we've got 23, 20 and 18-year-olds. And I'm like, guys, before you decide to settle down, do your education, do whatever you need to do, then bugger off for a year. Go and do something. Go and see something of the world. And I don't know whether they're just homebodies, but the middle one perhaps, but I don't see it in the oldest or the youngest. And I just know here at the grand old age of 54, I'm listening to your stories going, I wish I'd done something like that. Or a guy we were interviewing a few weeks ago, who essentially has had my career, but the sexy version of it. I've been business journalism, he was consumer journalism. And weirdly, called Ross Brown. But he used to be editor of various magazines, etc. And he went out, he was editor of Time Out Dubai and things like that. So, yeah. I wish I'd done the sexy stuff at some point rather than going, I don't like London. I'm staying up north. It's a simple thing, and we're simple folk. We don't do. I wish I'd just bitten the bullet and gone for a year or two.
It's not too late for you. It's never too late, though, is it?
I mention it to Liz and see what she says about me disappearing for 12 months. Yeah, I'm sure she won't mind at all.
Go and do podcast in the Maldives. I don't know, Ross. I mean,
that's not a bad idea. Yeah, go somewhere that's not backwards, but maybe not technologically advanced.
Yeah,
and
as long as there's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, yeah, South Africa. She said that, not me. If I'd said it, it'd have been dodgy and a bit racist. But you can say it, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh well, it's a third world country. We have enough technology, but we're not quite, first world like you guys. So
it is a strange place because there are areas. From what I know as an outsider, and please have no hesitation in correcting me if I'm wrong, but it does seem to be highs and lows. Areas of Cape Town, Joburg, multi-million-pound houses, people, not opulent wealth, but doing very well, thank you very much. And then you sort of go a few miles outside where the shanty towns.
Yes.
And it's almost there's such a great disparity between the haves and the have-nots. And that's going to take generations.
Yeah.
Literally 150 years to kind of everyone to meet somewhere in the middle, I think.
Yeah, to bridge the gap. Yeah, no, I always actually say that because I've spent a fair amount of time in the UK with my mom being there and whatnot. Yeah. And that's always something I found quite hard to wrap my head around because you're right, in South Africa, and I actually did my thesis on a topic similar to this about how Cape Town's waterways essentially divide the city on a socio-economic level, because it's very clear in our country where sort of the if I can call it the lower class or the lower income communities live compared to where the high income. It's very obvious. You'll have driving through Bishop's Court and Constantia, which are sort of very high income areas, or Sea Point, Camps Bay, Bantry Bay, sorry. That's your very high earners. I mean, that's mega wealth. And you can tell it's just by the area. And then you'll drive on the N2, the main road connecting Cape Town and Stellenbosch, for instance, past the airport. And on your left and right, it's shanty towns, it's shacks, people in very low cost housing. And that disparity is very obvious. Whereas in the UK, you could be walking down a high street of London and there could be a council house and a really, a really wealthy family living next door, and you wouldn't know. And I always found that quite interesting.
Yeah, we are kind of rich and poor and mixed up a bit more. Yeah. I mean, I live sort of halfway between Leeds and Manchester, a place called Huddersfield. But I live on the outskirts where it's villages rather than a town. And you suddenly realise, even in an area like this, where, Yorkshire, as a rule, is very culturally diverse. But you get somewhere like here, which is a bit nicer, in inverted commas, and the only brown faces you see, the majority, they're in the curry shop, they're in the pizza shop, and you suddenly realise, actually, you've moved that couple of miles away, and it's still there, is the disparity, but it's on the same road. Whereas you guys, it's much more, we're over here, they're over there, and it does feel, I think, more physical distance rather than just an economic one. Which is,
No, definitely, yeah.
it's a shame, because you never know that there could be, the guy who cures cancer could have been born in a shanty town somewhere, but he doesn't get the opportunities to actually do that education. So I've got my political soapbox. I do apologise.
No, that's okay. I mean, it's all relevant, right? But it is very true.
It's life, isn't it? It's life.
Yeah.
So, ex-stewardess in planes and on sea, came back. I can see here, into Cape Town, with the plan to do what? Was it always aiming towards self-employment, or?
I think, I mean, not what's the word? Directly. It wasn't sort of in the forefront of my brain at the time. I think at that time I got off the boats, and I just thought to myself, in 2019 is the year I need to settle down. I need to get a place in Cape Town and just figure out this whole working life. I've been living kind of in a fantasy for the last 3 years and very well looked after. So it was quite a hard transition, kind of like landing back without your bum in the butter, so to speak. And,
I'm sorry, with what?
Without your bum in the butter. Have you never heard that? Is that not a saying?
No, I think that's the South African one.
That's you're teaching us there.
Yes.
Landing with your bum in the butter, like meaning, you have it easy. I thought that was honest. My mom always says it.
Well,
so
I was just going to say, you've got to remember, it's the weird thing about the UK. Despite being a relatively small country, I'll say things that Chris 20 miles away won't understand, and vice versa. We're very, our regions are very kind of closeted. So your mum, 300-400 miles away down the south coast, could speak almost a different language to us. But bum in the butter, I like that one. I kind of get it. I got it the second you said it. I just wanted to check it wasn't anything.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say on the podcast or not.
Yeah, we might
don't worry. I tend to put an explicit tag on all of them just to be on the safe side.
Yes.
Spotify aren't going to boot us out just yet.
Just to confirm, bum in the butter means you've landed pretty. You've got it easy, essentially, which was not the case.
We'd say born with a silver spoon in your mouth or something.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
exactly the same. Yeah, exactly the same thing.
Landed on your feet or something.
Yeah.
Right.
All of the above. So
So you need to get your bum out of the butter. Yes, I get that.
So I need to get my proverbial bum out of the butter and find a job, and that's when I sort of got into a more corporate role, and tried the whole corporate thing. Just was not for me, and that's sort of around the time COVID started to make its entry. So that's, the whole world shut down anyway during 2020. I think that was my key and my time where I thought, okay, well, I can't do anything else right now. So I was staying with my dad at the time in Plettenberg Bay up the coast, and I needed to just figure out how to make money during that time when I didn't have work. I got retrenched, and I actually started to teach English online. Started that whole journey, got my TESOL certificate, and that was a really great start for me, because that meant I could build my career whilst having something stable on the side, making money for me during that entire time. So whilst that was building, I contacted a few companies, people I'd either worked with before, gone to school with, whoever really was in my network.
Yeah.
And just said, look, I studied film. I love wildlife, and specific companies. Obviously, can I edit something for you? Do you have any work for me, basically? And luckily, got some jobs through that. Some very baby jobs for next to nothing. But it was sort of my entry into working for myself, and that's how that all started. Was really just out of necessity. And so, whilst I was working online doing teaching, I was building up this side hustle of my content creation company, and so that's how that all began, and that's how I got to where I am now.
Wonderful.
So, are you just an editor, or do you shoot as well, or are you a concept person, or are you just making it look pretty? I mean, to me, I love editing because
Yeah.
that's where you make it. You can have a load of crap footage, but if you edit it well, it can look so much better.
Yeah, yeah. I would say 90%, 80-90% of what I do is editing, video editing. So I'd say that's sort of the skill set I've built up the most. Yeah, so I was doing some filming on the side. I just felt that I think the filming for me also became, I don't want to use the word restrictive, but it meant being on set. It meant, again, I had to go out and film things. It almost took a lot more time, and I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't maybe the area that I found the easiest, if I can put it that way. Also, you need good equipment, especially for higher end productions. They want you to have a nicer camera. If you don't have a nice camera, you have to hire one. That means, put more into the budget.
Your profits have just gone down as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just found it more profitable to edit. I didn't have to go out and film and use my petrol and whatever. I could just be at home, send me the footage. I make it what you want it to be. And there was definitely a lot of satisfaction in making something awesome out of nothing. I'd get this raw footage and sort of, okay, here's a brief, make it into this. And I really had to challenge myself and think about, okay, how am I going to make this into a really interesting story? So that's kind of how that all came about. And it's obviously changed. And as technology changes and things change, it's all sort of become something different to how it started. But that's where I find myself
more
now.
Short form these days, sort of 60, 90 seconds.
Exactly, more short form. Also, you obviously have AI to help. You have, for a lot of storylines, content, and that kind of thing. I can put something into ChatGPT or Claude and just say, okay, this is what I've got. How can I make this a really cool story? So that helps a lot. It really cuts down time. And I think that's only going to get better.
Yeah, great. Yeah, really interesting. So, I mean, we try and put a bit of a sort of business development marketing spin on this. So how would you go about getting clients? Is it through the cameramen? Do you sort of work with other sort of agencies in order to do your bit, the bit that you specialize in? How do you go about getting new clients?
That is a good question, because honestly, I think that's the part I'm probably the worst at is marketing myself. And I'm learning to have a good, business that runs well and has a lot of clients. You have to be good at the marketing and sales. And that is something that I need to be better at, could be better at. I would say a lot of my clients are just repeat clients I've worked with before, and they kind of know my work. They know what I can do. A lot of them have just been random, I don't know, through word of mouth, or they found me on some kind of job site. What else? Sometimes on LinkedIn, I found a few clients. But, in terms of me actually going out and actively sourcing clients, I wouldn't say that's a huge part of what I do, to be honest. So it's something I'm learning to be better at now.
Okay. Yeah, good. I mean, we met briefly on an online networking event, didn't we? So is networking sort of part of your, when you're not putting content together and doing your bits, you enjoy networking?
I do, yeah. I mean, as you know, when I was networking, I was working for sort of a side startup. And I'm actually glad that was part of what I was asked to do, part of the role, because it's actually taught me a lot about how valuable networking can be. So that's definitely something I'll probably keep up, but just keep it more relevant to what I currently do. But yeah, it's definitely been helpful. I mean, I've met you guys through it.
Sorry about that.
So yeah, it's definitely been fruitful.
Do you prefer in person or online, or you're not really bothered?
I don't think it's, it doesn't seem to make a huge difference to me. I think Zoom and the ease of access, when you have Wi-Fi, it makes everything a lot easier. Yeah. But I will say, in person, I think you do just get a better sense of someone as a whole. You can see them as a whole. Sort of, I don't know, there's just a more tangible, tactile experience when you're in front of someone, which...
Yeah, Chris touches people. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Well, I still remember I remember your first words to me when we actually met him with the flesh.
Mine?
I realised you were so tall.
It was massive.
I'm 6'2",
like
so I'm not
7 foot.
massive. He's just a short ass.
You made me feel very short. No, in all seriousness, that is something that I did tell someone once. Because I suppose it also sort of comes back to the people buy from people, and you're trying to build relationships and build trust and getting someone to like you, and as long as you like that person as well and you're willing to develop some sort of business relationship. But if I'll do something tactile, just a little bit tactile, just touch them on the elbow, just on the shoulder, or in part of the conversation, and just it just
I don't think about it, but you do, don't you? Just to kind of tap on the shoulder and the arms when they kind of is it professional flirting almost?
Perhaps it's harmless. Hopefully, it's harmless. But it just shows that
if not, you'll find out very quickly.
Well, I'm sure the HR will be on. You're just being yourself, and you're being genuine, and perhaps you're being a bit more passionate. Maybe you're standing out different from somebody else as well, and you're just making that connection. I think physical touch, even as minute as 1 second, can set you aside from somebody else. So it's something I do quite naturally, but I'm aware of it as well.
It's funny because obviously online network. I prefer face to face, but online networking without it, we'd never have met you for a start, Victoria.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in South Africa, we're in the UK, and there's other people. I was chatting to an animator. He does explainer videos and animation, who's based in Amsterdam. And I think Chris also knows, I'm not sure if you've met Abdullah, who runs a small IT company who do back-end systems. He's in Islamabad. I wouldn't have met these people at a networking event in Leeds or Manchester.
No.
It's quite funny. I do organise a local networking event, and Abdullah in Islamabad saw reference to it and joined up. I had to text him going, "You do know this is in person. We're not meeting online. Are you coming across to Leeds?" "Oh, no, I'm not." "I'll take you off the list, mate. You're more than... If you're ever coming across, Abdullah, it'd be lovely to see you."
Yeah.
But I'm assuming you're not flying across all the way for 90 minutes of a networking session, actually not even in Leeds, in a small town just outside Leeds.
What's it called, Ross?
What's what called?
The event.
Oh, you're good. Thank you. Well, for anybody who lives around the Kirklees or Calderdale areas, like Halifax, Huddersfield, we set up the Brew Networking. That's thebrewnetworking.com, which, alongside our monthly meetings on the third Friday of each month, just outside Brighouse, we also have our 9 a.m. Monday morning meeting, the Morning Brew. Which allows everyone to have a very casual start to the working week. Find out more details and sign up at thebrewnetworking.com. I now return you to our regular program.
It sounds like an advert. Well, I did ask you what it was called.
You did.
So,
I thought you'd cue me up for that.
I was.
Yeah, I know you were.
I was.
So is there anything particular? Obviously, we're going out to an audience that's predominantly going to be in the UK. Sending video footage across the internet could take hours, so that might not be. But is there anything you're wanting to promote for yourself? Do you have speedy internet to be able to accept those kind of files quickly?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I actually am wanting to sort of get my business offerings, my services more into the UK, Amsterdam, even to the US, just because what I do, I can really do remotely from anywhere. And for sure, there's various tools that you can use to transport the raw footage, across in various formats and ways. And so
I did make it sound like you're in the middle of
that's okay.
Do you have indoor toilets yet? Sorry, it wasn't meant to sound like that. It was just the logic of me going... Yeah. Do I want to send bloody gigs of footage? But yeah.
The thing is, what I'm realizing is, if you're not in this industry, and doing what I do, it's not always obvious. I don't think people do always know how to do it, and it seems too big of a thing to even consider. But it's actually not. It's really quite simple. A lot of my clients have used Google Drive, upload their WeTransfer. There's a new thing that I've discovered recently called. I had it up it's Starchive or something. So there's, as I said, there's a huge plethora of ways to do this, and once I have the footage, that's really all there is to it. The rest is up to me, and then I send you back a really neatly compact little video that you can just upload to whatever platform or channel you need it to be uploaded to.
For audiences only having audio, she was miming there a little compact box.
Yes, thank you.
Off the shelf.
Yeah. So yeah, I think how I like to explain what I do is exactly that. I think sometimes the video editing and content creation process for people can seem really overwhelming when they don't know how to do it. They have an idea, but they don't know how to package it neatly. There's so many systems that you can use, blah, blah, blah. And it's really handing it to someone who can do that for you and just make it a lot less complicated and simplify it. And then all you get back is what you want, which is that video or whatever it is you need. And the rest is really just
sorry, I was going to say, with short form stuff, is not a worry that will go, I'll just check into AI and they'll do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can argue probably exactly the argument you're about to make against it, but I'd be interested in what you're going to say because you're not interviewing me.
Look, I think there's definitely that option. I honestly don't know how advanced it is at this point, so much so that it's going to make something stand out from what everyone else has. I think when it comes to something like a story you want to get across that has a human touch and a human element to it, specific B-roll that you've selected for that, a specific script, if there's a narrative, all of those things have to be considered. And it's not that easy to actually put that, make a really cool story that people engage with in a short space of time. Yeah. And I'm not convinced that AI has been able to do that yet.
It's funny how AI to me should be about making our lives easier by taking away the drudgery to leave us time to be creative, not doing the creative stuff and leaving us with the drudgery. You know, I want something that'll, I don't know, send out me invoices and chase up money so I can, create things, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And that's where we seem to be getting it all mixed up at the moment.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I've listened to a lot of podcasts about how to integrate AI and, because it is quite a threat to my industry. But when you realize that it's actually about learning to use it more effectively and as exactly like you said, Ross, is to alleviate my time from things I don't really need to be so concerned with. And so there's definitely systems in place for that I can use to just make it easier. But the actual story and creating something out of chaos, that part is very much up to me as the human to still do.
So it should be.
Yeah.
You need that personal touch. It's artificial intelligence. It can't do creativity.
Yeah, that, and also I think for a lot of the work I do, because when I do longer format, a lot of it is has an emotional element. I always ask my clients when they send me a brief, my first thing I ask them is, what is the mood? What atmosphere do you want this video to have? What mood? Do you want it to be sad? Do you want it to be happy? Must it be energetic? Because that really helps me create a direction that you want the video to go in.
It's the call to action that we were talking about earlier, isn't it? What reaction do you want from this?
Exactly. And it's, the music, everything in video editing, I think it's all that unseen stuff. People don't realize how much goes into it. The little sound effects, the water, the running stream that you hear in the background, that's not just there. That's been put there.
You've got from the sound library that wasn't actually on the video, but this is why I love editing, because I mean, I'm not to the same standard as you. I'm not pretending to be, but I enjoyed it when I've done it because you create it. It's creating the editing suite. You can have a load of footage, a load of music, a voiceover, but it's putting it all together in the right way. That, like you say, evokes the right message at the end of it. That's the best part.
Yeah. No, exactly. And those are my favorite types of edits to do, is when I know it's evoked the feeling and the sensation that person wanted. I actually recently did a really sweet, quick story for a friend of mine. She's an artist, and I know her very well, so I kind of knew the quirkiness she wanted her video to be portrayed with, So I just filmed it all on my phone, and I think that's the other thing people don't, just as a segue. I've got I don't know what this is, an iPhone 13 something, but it has cinematic mode. And so
Yeah.
I always give my clients, when they do ask for film, I always give them the option of filming with the phone, because quite frankly, for what I'm doing and for social media, you really don't need a fancy DSLR 4K mirrorless camera. I think
But
that's going up.
they do 4K. I've got a 13 Pro. It does 4K.
Oh, it does. Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
So that does 4K anyway. So this whole thing about having these, obviously for film sets and bigger
Yeah.
shoots, understandably, but for what I'm trying to do, it's a far cheaper option and it gets the job done just as well. And so I filmed it on my phone in cinematic mode to get that depth of focus, the shallow depth of field, all of the things. And we had the little lapel mics that you set up on your phone, and it was perfect. It ran so well. And once I put the whole thing together with music and followed the scripting and everything, and she when I sent it to her, she phoned me, and we were having a laugh because her partner at the time was crying, and he just got so moved by the story that I was trying to tell of her and what she does and her art, and that to me means the world, because then I know
that's the result. That's what you're aiming for, isn't it?
The impact.
Passion. Somebody to fully engage and not care that they're crying at the end of it, because it's like, well, that's how I feel by watching that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And I think that's the whole point. That's why I kind of went into this industry initially, was because I think video footage, or being able to edit together, whether it's short form, long form, being able to convey a message and evoke that emotion in someone, I don't think there's any other format that does that as well and has as wide an audience in order to do that. So I think it's a great way to spread a message and evoke an emotion. And that's always been my, I guess, going back, my number one reason for following it.
Wonderful. You like making people cry.
Yeah.
That's your takeaway from that. Yeah. Do you like
in a nutshell, she makes people cry. Yeah. So what is that what you're going to do for the future? What does the future look like for you then? You just want to make more people cry?
Yeah. Either by being mean to them or making sad videos. No, at the moment, to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know if I will be doing this for the rest of my life. I probably see myself using it to further my own platform somehow. I have to see, I guess, where that goes, because the problem is with me, I've got so many interests, as you've probably realized from my career, where I've, as we said earlier, I have my fingers in many pies. I have such a wide variety of interests and so many things I want to be doing. So at this rate, I don't know. Maybe I'll film my own series. Maybe I don't know, start my own podcast. Who knows? Well,
whoa. Start your own podcast. Sounds like competition to me, Christopher.
She might need some help though, Ross.
Brown and Marsh, South Africa.
Yeah, there we go. You could branch out.
Yeah, exactly.
So, can you tell us
already what you're talking
about? Any more of those interests? Can you allude to? You've talked about nature, and obviously, I mean, talk about things like, the Oscar Pistorius case. So is politics in a sort of general humanitarian? Are they what sort of drive you? Is there anything else that potentially could take your interest in doing something different in the future?
Yeah, for sure. So as you said, environment, nature, wildlife, all of those things. I'm someone that also just loves being outdoors. If I can be outdoors all day long, I will. I struggle to be inside in front of a computer 24/7. So yeah, I'd say anything that allows me to be outdoors. My mom's a landscaper, so I've grown up, I grew up on a farm on a small holding and always had plants and herbs around me. And I think through her, I've also quite recently found quite a big interest in that, in gardening, landscaping, plants.
Oh, far too young to get interested in gardening, Victoria.
Very interesting though, once you understand it. But
I've got about 20 years in you and I'm still fighting it.
No, it's a genuine look. When you've grown up around it and you have a mother that every single time you go past the plant, she gives you the scientific name, whether it grows in shade or in sun, what its medicinal use is. So
she's indoctrinated you, is that what you're saying?
Oh,
she has. And now I find myself doing the same thing, and I go into the forest and I'm like, oh, that's aloe vera, blah, blah, blah. And it's great for sunburns. And if you have a cut, and I kind of feel like I'd be really good on a Bear Grylls show, because I probably have good survival skills just through plants I've learned, you know?
Yeah.
So quick funny story about that. When I was about, I want to say 3 or 4, I was living on a wine farm back in the day before it became a wine farm today. And as you do at that age, I was running around, half naked. And I was running after my brother, who was on his bike. He's older than me. And I don't know, I was screaming after him, running as fast as my little legs could carry me. And there was a hollowed out tree stump. And he obviously drove by super fast and aggravated the bees that were living inside the street. The trees. I kept running past on my little legs, and they decided to come out and attack me. So I ran up to the house after they'd swarmed upon me, screaming, and my mom was propagating or doing whatever she was doing, and I was covered head to toe in bees. And so she took everything she could off. I think she picked 80 bees off of me, and she just lathered me in bulbine, which is, I think, could be a family of aloe vera, I'm not sure, but it's got like a gel of plant. Lathered me in that because it's great for bee stings, and took me to the doctor an hour or two later, and he said she's absolutely fine, let her sleep. To this day, I've never had any issues. I'm not allergic to bees. So
Thankfully.
There you go.
Wow.
You don't talk to your brother anymore, but you're fine with bees.
I shouldn't, no.
Yes.
Sure, bees don't come anywhere near. Yeah. No, and that's what I love about doing the podcast. You just come out, we find these interesting people, don't we, Ross? And we hear these interesting stories that from different sections of your life and things that have stuck with you. And so you're not afraid of going near bees anymore.
No, I think if anything, it's built my immunity.
He avoids honey. Yes. Doesn't like Winnie the Pooh. But apart from that, well, I think we've taken up enough of your time. We've been talking to you for about an hour now, and I'm always conscious that people give us their time for free, so we don't want to take up too much of it. So, unless there's anything else you want to bring up or anything else you're not really here to plug anything, are you? But if people do want to get in touch with you, where should they go? What should they look up?
So I have my own business called The Pixel Route. So you can find my information on there, or there's a contact form, which if you wanted to get hold of me, you can. Alternatively, probably my LinkedIn is the best. I don't know
and it's Kitley, Kitley?
Yeah, Kitley, Victoria Kilter. I don't think there's many of me, so it should be hopefully quite easy to find. So I'd say those are probably the two best ways to get hold of me. I think that's about it.
How about yourself, Christopher? People want to get hold of you.
Thank you. Yeah. Again, LinkedIn's always the best place. I do spend quite a bit of my time on LinkedIn. My website is agentsof.co.uk for freelance.
I think that's the best name.
Thank you.
Agents of Change. Agents of.
Yeah. It quickly just it came about just because I was in a meeting and people were talking about how you make change within business, and someone said, well, we're all agents of change. We all have to be agents of. We have to sort of work that out ourselves. And I thought, well, that kind of sort of sits with what I do. I'm trying to create change and bring new business within my clients. So it's I'm an agent of. So there you go. Thanks, Ross.
No, it's all right. No, I honestly didn't know. I presumed it's something on those lines. And I'm increasingly in the world of podcasts. So if you want to talk to me about creating a podcast for your brand or for one of your clients, that's interesting, but also a sales tool, so it puts you in a good light. I can also help you with the structure and the marketing of it as well if you go to northernpods.com, and of course, if you want to find out more about myself and Christopher, brownandmarsh.co.uk. Find us on Apple, find us on Spotify, Amazon, Podverse, RSS, YouTube, smoke signals, send out a pigeon, probably apply to that as well. And that's about it, really. Thank you very much for your time, Victoria, once again. It has been an absolute pleasure. It's great, is this? We've interviewed people that we've known for 15, 20 years in some cases, and we found out something new about them. And in your case, we've known you for a few months, but didn't know that much. And it's fascinating to find out more. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know about, the video editor until I did a quick bit of a LinkedIn stalk. But it's useful to know for my personal network going, right, I tend to do any little editing jobs. But if a client ever needs something that's frankly better than I can do, I know somebody now in South Africa. I can just I can Google her all the footage, and she'll come back with this wonderful piece of cinematic genius and win an Oscar for it. Am I building your part up here, Victoria, at all? Yeah.
What's that? Sorry?
Am I building your part up here a bit? Yeah. Cinematic
Yeah, no, that's
genius.
right. I'm not very good at it, so if you can build me up even better.
Yeah, it's all right, mate. Yeah, no, it's what friends are for. So, yeah, and until we all meet again, thank you very much. It's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.
Brown and Marsh is a Northern Pods production. Find out more at northernpods.com.